I remember the day he told me I had to move out. He gave me a 2-week notice. Standing in the kitchen, I felt fear invade the broken places in my heart. The broken I'd been trying to tape back together for the last couple years. The broken I'd tried to mask with brave face and strong chin. I could do this. We could do this. No longer a student, I worked full-time, making $6.50 an hour, taking care of other people's children in order to feed mine. We didn't have much in the early days, but we managed. We had beds and a blow-up chair for our living room furniture, but there was one thing I knew I needed to find: a kitchen table, but not just any kitchen table. As a child, I dreamed of marrying one day and having a lot of kids. I wanted to have a large kitchen table where I could gather my family for dinner each night, and we would talk about our days, a place we could come to share life, a place where memories would be made. One day, with my son in tow, we set out on a garage sailing adventure to find such a table. With a bit of money I had saved up, I had high hopes we would find the perfect one. I will never forget walking up her driveway and laying eyes on her table. There it was in all its glory. 2 leaves and 8 chairs. A little tattered from what could only be years of use, my heart began to beat a little faster. This was the one. That was until I saw the price tag. An elderly woman sat near the garage and was accepting money for purchases made. I approached her and asked, "Would you be willing to come down on the price of your table?" Knowing full well she could never meet me at the price of the change tucked deep in my pocket. She looked at me, then my son, and inquisitively asked, "Honey, how big is your family?" I went on to explain to her that it was just me and my son, but one day our family would be big. I had plans for that table. I told her about my dreams and my heart's desires. I told her about gathering family around the table as a place of belonging. And then she drew me in close and said, "For 60 years, I've gathered my children and their children around that table to make memories and share life. And if you promise to do just that, I will sell you the table for what you have in your pocket." That day, I promised a woman that I would gather my family around the table and make memories. Her name was Grace Adams. More than 15 years later, on the last Friday of a cold December's night, a teen mother and her son joined me for dinner. This gathering was called Around the Table, and for the next year, more than 50 teen mamas and their children sat around the table and found belonging. Their bodies and souls nourished as we shared life and made memories. It was during this time that I was trying to identify the name of our ministry. Every name that I chose was already taken, but I committed a specific amount of time to fervently pray and seek God for a name that would have meaning and relate to my story. One day, as I spent time reading my Bible, I read about God having grace on Noah. Grace. And then it clicked. All those years ago, Grace Adams had grace on me when she sold me her kitchen table for the little bit of money I had in my pocket and a promise to make memories around the table. It was in that moment that I realized we had been doing just that. It was then that I knew we would become Grace's table.